Hello, welcome to scr1tno Knitting Project podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family, 3 cats and a dog. Today is Thursday the 30th of July 2020 and this is episode 66. Welcome if you are a new viewer, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my podcast all about my knitting and anything else I get up to crafty wise. I have some quilting today. And something, I think I've got a little bit of the journaling to do. I have left my embroidery downstairs, so that's not happening. And my spinning, I still haven't got this braid plied, but we'll talk about that later anyway. Let's go straight into admin. The podcast does have a Ravelry group if you can use Ravelry. They seem to be going from bad to worse, so well done Ravelry. Otherwise, please do use the comments below the video to chat with each other as well as with me. And I'm going to try and look into using a different platform that isn't Facebook. You can find me as scr1tno pretty much anywhere, and you can email me on scr1tno@outlook.com if you have any direct questions. I have one question from last week's podcast, which is Caroline. Thank you, Caroline. Yes, the cardigan's fine. Sorry, I'm sorry I didn't actually put that down anywhere. Yes, cardigan is fine. I think you should get a double entry if you steek. Having cut a jumper recently and realised how frightening that could be, please do, if you stick your entry in twice. Just made that up on the spot, you know. I'm slightly distracted by the fact that my finger is bleeding from time to time because I managed to cut my finger open on the tripod before we started. I'm really hoping that's not a sign of things to come. So things that have gone wrong so far this morning trying to record the podcast. I left my normal tripod downstairs, and I don't know if you're not a regular viewer, you don't know, I have a knee problem, so I'm trying not to go up and downstairs too much. So yeah, the tripod and my embroidery is still downstairs, so I'm trying to use my backup tripod, which ate my finger. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not bleeding all over the place. You probably didn't need to know that. Also, I'm recording quite early so that I can get it done before work, and the sun is right there behind you, so I've had to shut the blind, so I'm hoping the lighting is going to be okay because I've still got the light coming from that side, from that window. We've got my craft room, which is where I am, is a loft extension, and it's got 2 giant, and I mean giant, Velux windows, which is fabulous. The lighting up here is amazing, and I love recording up here because the lighting's so good. But because it's so early in the morning, the sun is right there. It's literally, so I couldn't have the blind open, so I'm hoping this is going to be okay. But we're going to go with it, guys, because this is the only opportunity I've got to record, so bear with me. Right, let's get into it. So day 1 is socks, and that's hanging out in my lovely Elderflower Stitches bag. Which I love this, I think it's a very summery bag. And these are the Jelly Roll socks by Marie Catherine Bryna. Mara Catherine Bryna, apology, I keep saying it's Marie. And I am using Hedgerow yarns in the, what was it, Bouquet? Yeah, the Bouquet colourway. So that's the main one. And that's the mini that's going with it, and it's a 80/20 high twist merino nylon, and it's got a little card that's in there, my project card. This is from Nikki Winston, who is Hugs from Clara on Etsy, and you can download these off of her Etsy site, or you can buy them ready-made. I downloaded it and stuck it on a card. Well, this card is paper that you get if you use it for scrapbooking and journaling, and I cut one of the sheets up, and it's just the right kind of thickness, and then I just punch the holes in for the yarn. So shall I show you what I managed to do? I managed to finish one of them, so I have an half finished object. So I love these jelly rolls. So you've got the jelly roll cuffs, which I adore doing those. The funnest bit is putting those two together. Then I've done the heel is alternate rows of the two colours. Now in the pattern it's done slightly differently. I don't want to give too much away because it is an actual paid for pattern, but that's the way I've done it. But in the pattern it's done slightly differently, and I do the same with the band around here. Again, this is done slightly differently, and I do a twisted rib around the middle, just because I think it looks nicer, that's all. It sort of tightens it up a little bit and just makes it look a little bit neater. And then just the pattern toe. So this is how that yarn is knitting out. As you can see, it's a slightly blush pink. And with the screen, I think it's beautiful. I'm not too worried about the lighting. The lighting's all right up here. So that's a little progress keeper from Jiggles and Beans that I thought went really, really well with this sock. So yeah, that's my first sock done. I'm really excited that that's done. Here's sock day today, so I'm hoping I'll get to cast on my second one. I don't get an awful lot of time on a Thursday because editing and working, it takes up most of my day, so I don't really get a chance to knit too much. But that's the reason why it's over 6 days, because next week it'll be on Wednesday, which is a much better knitting day for me. Isn't that lovely? I love that. So that is my sock whip at the moment. So they are the Jelly Roll socks by Mara Catherine Bryna. Twice now I've done that. And they in Hedgerow yarns. So that's day one socks. So day two is gift knitting, and last week I recorded the segment and then realised the recipient is going to see it, so I have stopped doing that, but it is hanging out in my bag from scr1tno, which I absolutely adore, and I wanted to show the bag, but I can't show you anything about what's in it. When it's finished and gifted, I will take a photo and talk about it. And I'm not going to do this every week, but you know, Jo's bag deserves to be shown off. She gifted it to me and also gifted one for you lot for the podcast. So thank you, Jo. I love it. And it's, as you can see, it's really full. It's really heavy. So my day two, I'm really sorry I can't share at the moment. I thought I was going to get away with it, but I'm not. So day two, gift knitting. So day three is garment day, and that's hanging out in my Stitched by Mrs. D bag. And this is the EDT, which is EDIE, T-E-E, by Isabel Kramer. And I am using Nora George in her spring colourway, of which I have 2 balls on the go at the moment. This one's got some stellina in it, and this one's merino nylon, which is important because this jumper I had knit. It was completely finished. I was wearing it, and I'd done the bottom in spring in an MCN, which is merino cashmere nylon, and it felted when we washed it. You know, no fault of the yarn, it was the fault of how it was washed. So I have cut it off. If you look back a couple of episodes, there is a little vlog at the end of it where I cut it. So I've cut off the felted bit at the bottom, and I'm re-knitting it because I think I've got enough. I've got these 2 of the Nora George, and should I not have enough, I've got this one, which is Sherry Iris, which I think is close enough. The only difference is that's got a lot of blue in and that's got green in. So, you know, what I'm going to do is when this one's run out here, I'm going to start with this one, and then helical knit it with this. Should have said that. I'm helical knitting, so I'm alternating skeins, and this is how far I got. So this is. So I've done all the difficult bits on this. I've, you know, the sleeves are done. It's just literally going round and round in the body. Now the EDT has got a pattern, and I have decided I'm not going to worry about doing the pattern. I'm because it's a slip stitch pattern, it does use quite a bit of yarn, and I just don't want to run out, if I'm honest. So I am just going round and round, and I was where my little bunny is there last week, and I've done all that. This is great TV and car knitting. So it's going down to there, which I'm really looking forward to doing. And yeah, that's how it's coming out. I think I'm always going to have, you're going to be able to notice where I had to pick up between there and the steek, but I don't think there's anything I can do about that. I'm hoping it's just going to look like a bit of a crinkly line sort of design feature. So today is Thursday, and it's day 1 is socks. Tomorrow is Friday, and it would be day 2, which is gift knitting. But because I'm going out for the day, it's our Friday adventures tomorrow. We are exploring Margate, I think, tomorrow. My gift knitting is not suitable travel knitting. It would be at certain points, like if I was on the sleeves, but I'm not. And it's I'll be honest, I'm not doing intarsia in the car, and I'm on the intarsia bit, so that's not happening. It's really not happening. So I am going to swap day 2 and day 3 round, and I will knit on this in the car tomorrow. So I'm going to take this with me on our car journey, so I'm anticipating I should get a fair bit of this done tomorrow. But that's something that I do with the project from time to time. 90% of the time I can take it, everything I knit is you can travel with. Just occasionally I get the odd one that I can't, and that is definitely one that I cannot travel with. It's also knit in Aran weight, and if it's going to be the 31 degrees it's threatening to be tomorrow, the last thing I need is an Aran weight jumper on my lap. So this is coming with me tomorrow, my giant sock, as I call it. So yes, I'm looking forward to working on that. It's very pretty, and the yarn is gorgeous. Very pretty colours. This beautiful delicate pink, and then it's got sort of bright blue, bright green and bright pink speckles in it. And it is really pretty, and I'm looking forward to having it, but yeah, it required some work. So that's my day 3 garment day. So day 4 is crochet, and that's hanging out in my Bags by Awesome Granny bag with little caravans on it. And this is my friendship blanket, and this was really frustrating. I am putting in minis that I got for Christmas from my friends when we did advent swaps, and then the idea is that this year I'm going to add in my minis for my advent swaps again. And I realised I was working on it, then lockdown happened, and I wasn't feeling, in fact I just basically just cast on loads of new things. So I kind of put this to one side, and then realised that actually, you know, December's going to be with us before we know it. I probably should get on with this, and I have literally got one left to do. Oh, and because it's crochet, crochets up really quickly, but I was so tired. I was like, I just cannot put that last one in. So I mean, admittedly I've got most of that one too, but I am going to start showing you this in a slightly different way. I have put, because I'm doing a giant granny square, I should have said that, shouldn't I? I'm doing a giant granny square, and it's getting quite difficult to show you now actually. So I have put my unicorn there, which is the start of this round here. So I started where that blue was. So we've got the blue with the flashes all the way around. Keep going. Then it changed to this pinky purple, that one. Oh, and then, oh, where is it? There we are. We went, so it's gone into this green, and then that's when it went up into the next row. Into purple again. Oh, nearly there. It's making my arms ache. It's really not easy to show this, is it? So into the pinky purple, and then into this beautiful yellow, which is really pretty, and I think one of Jenny's own yarns. So that's Jenny of Woolly Goodness, this is her yarns that she gifted me. And then that's where I've finished, and I put a little stitch marker, so that's a little otter from Corner of Craft, and I put a stitch marker through the loop to stop it disappearing and unravelling. There we go. And yeah, I love this. It is so pretty in its own way. Bless its little cotton socks. So I anticipate that this week this should be completed for now, and it'll be the last time you will see it till December, hopefully. And then I'm going to go, wow, there's a question. I think I'm going to go back to my Christmas blanket, but equally I want to work on my bat and bird blanket as well. I haven't done any of that for a while. So I'm not too sure which way I'll go. You will find out when I have made the decision on a podcast coming soon. Watch this space to find out what I did. So I'm using a 3mm crochet hook for this. I love this crochet hook. It's so pretty. So that is day 4, crochet day. So day 5 is Here Come the Whip, and that's hanging out in my So Sweet Violet bag. And this is the Habitation Throw, which is a pattern from Knit Event 2019 by Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. And a blanket, well, throw. And I'm using my Advent from 2019 from Lay Family Yarn, and I am getting there with it. The rows are a lot shorter now. That's the length of my rows, and I have just, let's turn that round because all the bits are on the other side. So that's how much knitting I've done this week, where that little donut is. That is a donut from Laura of Crafters Balm and the Lone Knitter podcast. And I have just started putting in a new mini. So the fact that this actually will kind of fit on the screen now. So it was, that's that side. So you can see it's going to be beautiful. It's knit on the bias. And I love it. I'm really looking forward. This is going to be my in the garden blanket if I ever get it finished in time to be in the garden with it. That's the mini I'm putting in right now. I think I'm on mini 19. It's really pretty. I love Kelly's yarn. So yeah, I'm hoping to get this finished before too long. Whether I get all the minis in or not, I'm not too sure. I think maybe I stopped too short, because I think she gives a percentage of yarn where you're supposed to stop, and I think I actually managed to stop like a mini too soon, so I may have some left over, but that doesn't matter. I'm sure I'll find a use for the minis. So that's my day 5, my habitation throw. So that's oh, so day 5 is Here Comes the Whip, which is basically a day where I work on old projects that really should be finished by now. So that is it. That's day 5. Here Comes the Whip. So day 6 is my Scrappy projects day, and at the moment I'm working on a northeasterly blanket, which is a pattern by Scrananigans, and this is hanging out in a lovely bag that I got for my birthday from Kelly of Low Family Yarn, made by Jilly Makes. And oh, apparently you can tell I took it out into the garden yesterday. The tree threw a leaf on it. So my idea with my northeasterly has been to do a strip of minis from different dyers. So we've got the top one there is Sherry Iris, that one's Hedgerow Yarns, that's Down Sheepy Lane, that's Craft House Magic, that is Lay Family Yarn, and then I'm now doing at the bottom West Green Loft Yarns. So that's where I was, and I've done those sections. So I'm trying to offset my stripes as much as I can, and I'm only using little bits of each of the minis. It's quite interesting, that one kind of micro striped. It didn't look like it was going to in this game, but it did. It's so pretty. I love Vicky's colours. So yes, this is how it's looking. It's difficult to show actually. That's the width at the moment. So the idea is I'm going to have a couple more dyers on this side, and then and a section of random ones that are just pretty ones I haven't got one enough for a whole strip for, but I want to put them in. And then once I've got the width, I'm going to increase the length. Now at the moment the top of it is just on a cable, so I can increase the length should I want to. Yeah, that's what it's looking like at the moment. I do really like it. It's fun to work on. I have to admit, I do enjoy the day when I'm doing this. Although at the moment, because I'm doing, this is the mini I'm putting in at the minute, because I'm doing Vicky's, which is West Green Loft Yarns, Vicky's minis come in 20 grams. So they're really pretty. They come in 20 grams, which is actually a lot of yarn. So they take a while to wind up, so it takes me a little while. That's what I have left over, that's the previous one. So it takes me a while to wind it. So part of the time that I've got for knitting is also spent winding. But I don't mind that. I mean, I like winding them, but at least with the 10 gram ones, it's a little bit quicker. It takes a little bit longer when you've got 20 gram minis going in. But equally, I use my West Green Loft Yarns in my Battenberg blanket. That's pretty much all West Green Loft Yarns. So having 20 grams is brilliant, because I'm just going to put all of those away to go into my Battenberg. Hence why I was thinking I wanted to work on my Battenberg for a little while, because I've got all these minis that could go in it. And also I like to use them for my Christmas swaps, because I have a couple of friends who really like those Vicky's colours, and I like to use those in the swaps. Right, so that's it for the rotation. Next up is my Cozy Memory blanket. So my Cozy Memory blanket is hanging out in my seaside bag. And I have just realised I forgot to completely mention the square a day cow in the admin section, but we are doing a square a day on a Cozy Memory blanket or a stripe in a granny stripe. For a knit along, and the idea is that at the end of each quarter we have a check-in. Oh wow, one day I'll remember to write that down, won't I? Was it 247? Did I write it down? Because that would be helpful. Hold on, let me check back on my notes. Yes, not 247, it's 274. 274 squares, and I did actually write it down. So that's the next check-in, which will be the end of September. And I got a really lovely prize coming from Jenny of Willy Goodness, one of her Scrappy boxes, as a prize for that. So that's brilliant. Right, so we have got Lay Family yarn, not sure, definitely Lay Family yarn. This is Craft House Magic. It was a little extra that she sent along with my order, and is Born to Run. Yeah, Born to Run. So that's those ones. And then over this side I have got, this is the lovely Lone, the Lonely Sock Lady. And these are all little extra bits and pieces. That one didn't have quite enough of, so I stuck some green on the end of it. They're lovely, aren't they? This is sparkly, this one. Don't know if you can see that. That's sparkly too, that brown. So there, that's as far as I got on my blanket. I have not done today's square because I was up at 6:30 to get the podcast done. There was no way I was knitting a square. I'd had to have got up even earlier to do it, so I shall do 2 tomorrow. I am 2 in credit, I believe. I have 2 spare ones, but yeah, I didn't do that this morning. So that's my cosy memory blanket and my bit of sanity when I first wake up. I sit there, watch a podcast, and knit on my cosy memory blanket. So next up is quilting, and I think you may remember, or I mentioned it last week, that I want to make a cover for my journal, and I thought what I might do is have a go at making it in English paper piecing. Get the idea? So I am covering some hexes at the moment, which I'll show you in a second, and the idea is I'm going to sew them together to cover this, and then what I'll do is I will I've got some really thin, I think, wadding, and I'm going to do a plain inside of the cover, so it slips over the cover of this, because I'm not inspired by the black on this, if I'm honest. I'd rather it was prettier. So I'm going to try and make it a cover. Watch this space. I have these great ideas. They never work for me. But this is a set that I got from So Sweet Violet in her update. Now she has one tonight, which I realised that this is Thursday and you won't see this till Sunday. But I thought I was going to need more of these. But I have got all of these left. They're so pretty. So I've got all of these left. I don't know how well you can see that. And I have done all of these. So I think I'm going to have absolutely loads to do this with. So yeah, do you want to do a quick flick through of what I've got? It's so pretty. I love the colours that she's put together. They're very me. So I thought, oh, I'm dreadful for keeping things for best and never using them. But earlier on this year, before lockdown in actual fact, I had a bit of a wake-up call, because there was something I was keeping for best that I hadn't used, and then when I remembered it and got it out to use, I wasn't that keen on it anymore. Lesson learned. If you buy something lovely, don't keep it for best, just use it. Except for my Taffety Mouse pouch, which I have put away for Kate's wedding, that I am keeping for best. So I was sort of looking at this, and I was like, oh, I don't want to use it, and then I really wanted to try and make this cover for my journal, and I was like, you know, what's the worst that can happen? I have to unpick them all and sew them into a quilt. So yeah, last night I bit the bullet, I got it out, and I sat there and glued these. Having said I would never glue, and I would, you know, perfectly happy tacking it. Gluing is so much quicker. I sat there and glued these all together so that I can start making my cover. I'm going to finish gluing the rest of them, and then I'm going to start sewing these. I thought what I would do is sew them crossways first, so it's a little bit bigger each way, because the spine grows on this because it's packed full of bits and pieces. So So I thought what I would do is make it a little bit longer than this each side, and then I'm going to wrap it over so that there's like the edges of the hexes, do that on the inside, and then this is going to have just a plain inside to make like the flaps that will hold it in place, so they'll come to about here. That's my idea. Hopefully it'll work. It sounds like it will in my head. So that's what I've been doing with quilting this week, or English paper. I keep calling it quilting, it's not really, it's English paper piecing. Which I think the whole of the knitting community seems to have suddenly exploded into doing, which is quite amusing. I mean, I love English paper piecing, and I have actually got a quilt that I started years ago that I haven't finished, surprise surprise, but it's disappeared, and it really shouldn't have done, because I had it out quite recently, so I have no idea where that's gone. Hopefully it will turn up at some point. But right, so that's quilting. I'm going to do a little bit of my journal just before I go into Happy Mail. I can't remember which way around this goes, so if I end up saying this and it's after Happy Mail, I've chopped it around. So what have I got? I've got 2 pages this week that I did sort of special bits for. I'm just going to grab my, you can't see that bit. I don't think there's any on this, because obviously it's let me just double check. I haven't got anything work, it's just work related stuff that. Right, so this is my, so on Fridays we have Fridays adventures, and we have days out, and we went over to the Isle of Sheppey in Kent, because Kent's not that far from me. Didn't realise it was such a tourist destination, I have to admit. And this is the page I did. So this is my book, this is my journal, it's called This Is My Era, the journal. The pages, when they're not filled in, look like that. Then when they are filled in, for me, look like that. I've got different colours for different things. So I've got knitting, craft work, and that's my little key that sits, that I've done on the tag and sits attached to it, so I don't have to keep referring back to the key in the front of the book. And then this is the page I did for our day out. So I've sea themed it, because pretty much the whole time we were at the sea. And it's got a little flap here that's got photos underneath with the weather on it, and then on the back it's got more photos, and this is a pocket that's got the journal entry in with a picture of the Isle of Sheppey. So yeah, that's the journal. It won't go back in, let's do that one. So that was that page, and then my other page, so Saturday, so just to show you I don't do a page like that, I only do pages like that for really special days. So Saturday is just a normal day, so that's my page for Saturday. That was our dinner, that's my journal entry. So yeah, Saturday, it's just got a normal page. Then Sunday, this was Meg's birthday. So this is Meg's birthday page. She really likes Alice in Wonderland, so I thought we'd have a go at doing an Alice inspired page. Again, it's got a little pocket with, this is the journal entry on it. There are photos of Meg's and her breakfast. That's a hedgehog, which is a little sticker because she's Hedgehog Guides. And then on the back there are more bits and pieces of her photos. So I only do this on really special days. Normal days I don't do an extra one. So this was Mondays. Now this is bound to have something to do with work on it. Yeah, okay. Right, obviously the yellow piece of paper is not... So that's just a normal page, and it has got a little pocket on it, a little bee pocket, which is something from So Me, Rachel, from her little pack she does. Normal day she just gets something like that. So that's a little envelope, and that's a little pocket with a journal entry. I have got a photo on that one. So today's is looking a bit better. I haven't done anything for today yet, so that will get filled in as the day progresses. Yeah, so that's my journal. I think I will only show you if I've done something special. Obviously if it's been a week that I've not done anything. I mean, theoretically we've always should have our Friday adventures, so as long as I've done that page by the time I record the podcast, I should be able to show you that one. So that's my journal bit. So next up is Happy Mail, and I'm just going to grab this in the order it's coming out of the basket. So I got a package from the Stitchery, which I completely forgotten I'd ordered, which is quite amusing. Nikki was doing a special offer. If you spent over a certain amount you got a Scrappy pack and all sorts. So I bought a few bits and pieces, but I thought I really loved this. This is the autumn one. Now I've got spring and summer, which I haven't done yet, and this is the autumn kit, and I really love those little toadstools. And now I'm growing in confidence with the sampler. I feel that I can do things like this a bit more. So I'm happy to buy something that's a bit more complicated. I don't think I'll do the monthly clubs yet, because I really don't think I'll get one done a month, and I'm quite happy with the little kits, but I really like that. Then there was a scrap pack of linen. So I'll show you these quickly. So this is all vintage linen, which I may cut out a little hexagon from and do like a tiny embroidery to go on my journal as a kind of keepsake of the fact that that's when I kind of got into embroidery in a big way. So I'll do that. Then there's a kind of seconds of a printed fabric. So there's no instructions or anything to do with this, it's just sort of, this is it, do what you want. And then I got some really lovely, and these I'm really pleased with. These are little note cards which will be perfect for kind of writing thank you notes and for the podcast. So that's the little beehive. Then there's a little watering can and a little tree. I didn't realise they were going to be different, I have to admit. I thought they were all going to be the beehive, so that was a nice surprise when I opened them up. And they come with these lovely little envelopes. So they're really pretty and they're really cute, so I'm really pleased with those. Again, as I said, be perfect for putting little notes with the parcels and packages. So that's my Stitchery package. So, keeping on the quilting theme, I picked up a couple of packets from eBay. These are ready, not quilting, English paper piecing. These are ready pieced and sewn, which is really lazy and actually part of what I enjoy. But equally, if this journal cover works, I might make a couple more. So having these ready made could be quite useful. So there's those ones, and then there's these ones. And these are really pretty kind of vintage Cath Kidston fabrics, which if Cath Kidston is no longer going to be around, I'm quite pleased that I've got some bits and pieces. Now this will go with the quilt that I'm already making, if I can ever find it. So that's kind of why I got that, because I thought, well, if I have these ready made, I can get that quilt finished off a lot quicker, but I need to find the quilt. I wasn't aware it was missing when I ordered them, but I mean, it's got to be around somewhere. But it's not in here, which if it's not in here, I really don't know where it is, because we had this huge great tidy up during the very first weeks of lockdown. I completely emptied this room and re-stacked it, So I know everything that's in here, and I know where everything is, and it's not in here. Okay, yeah, that's a slight mystery. So these packs you can get on eBay. They're not expensive. If you look, if you do English paper piecing on eBay, I'll have a look. The girl who does these, I don't think she's put her. I don't think that. No, it's not. Yeah, she doesn't put her name on it. I think I got them both from the same place, but yeah, eBay, they come ready sewn if you want a really quick project. But that's kind of the most fun bit for me. I enjoy the whole piecing, putting papers in. So that's those two. Yarn, Kelly, my lovely friend Kelly, Lay Family Yarn, was doing a grab bag of minis. Can you see in there? I'm not getting this lot out, I'm sorry. There are loads. Some are DK, so that's a lovely DK set. I'm trying to build up my stack of DK minis because I want to make a blanket of DK minis, and I've got a few now. And then there's all sorts of ones here. That one, not that one because that's DK, that one, are all destined to be tonals in my Christmas blanket. There are many more in here that will also be tonals in my Christmas blanket. So yeah, really helpful. And obviously there's some pretty standard Kelly yarns as well in here, but mainly they're darker colours. But Kelly did message me and say, you do realise that there's some darker colours in there. I was like, yes I do, but that's fine because things like this will go in my Christmas blanket. That is lovely. So that was the only yarn I had. I'm really not going to sit here and show you them all, but look, how perfect is that for my Christmas? It's red and sparkly. It's gold sparkle too, so it's perfect for my Christmas blanket. And if you want contrast for heels, toes and cuffs, this would be perfect. I don't know if she's still got them on her website or not actually, but yeah. So yeah, that happened. And last but not least, I sent some minis to my lovely friend Katie, who is our moderator, because she's made this such a pretty crochet blanket for her granddad, and she was doing it in greens and blues and needed a little bit more. So I raided my leftover mini stash and sent her everything that I had that was green or blue. So any of my friends that are watching that I'm doing advent swaps with, if there's a lack of green and blue, you can blame Katie. But as a thank you, bless her heart, she sent me some journaling bits. So there's some washi tape. So pretty. I love the colours of this. This is literally my logo, isn't it? It's my logo in washi tape. So that's perfect for me. I love that. A lovely, whoops, a lovely little card. And then all sorts of little bits of ephemera. So something like this I would use as a pocket. So this is going to sit on my desk. That I'd used to write on. So, oh, this is going to be so fab. Look, how perfect is that for one of my Friday adventure pages? And then, yeah. Oh, I love it all so much. There's so many lovely bits and pieces in here. So thank you so much, Katie. I really, really appreciate this. This is absolutely fab. I will use this with my journal. So look out in the coming weeks, you will see some of these bits and pieces. So that's it for my happy mail this week, and very happy mail as you can see. What happened there? It went a bit dark. Right, so just chatting now. I always get to this section and think, so am I going to talk about this week? Okay, so let's do a review of last week. Friday we went to the Isle of Sheppey, which is on the North Kent coast. It's wall-to-wall caravan parks. I didn't realise it was such a holiday destination. I've not heard of it as a holiday destination, so that really surprised me. But it's beautiful around there, so I'm not surprised in that respect. We sat in the car and had a picnic, and overlooking the bay. Hopefully at the end of this I should have some time-lapse footage of like us driving around, and possibly some footage of the bay. Then so that was Friday. Saturday I made Meg's birthday cake, and sort of generally tidied up and did everything you need to do before you have people around. We didn't have that many people around. She had her two best friends who are twins, and then one other girl, so there's only sort of 2 extra families, and we were in the garden having a barbecue. So Sunday was her birthday. This is Meg, my youngest, and she was 20, which is really scary. I no longer have a teenager in the house. It makes me feel really old. And she wanted a barbecue. And Sunday it rained in the morning, and it rained after the barbecue, but during the barbecue it held off, which was like, wow, thank goodness for that. So we had a lovely barbecue. She had a lovely day, bless her. And she's got lots of lovely little presents. I got her a bag and some books and some bookends that she wanted, and this really lovely tray table that you use like over in bed. It's designed for bed use, really. It's got like a little tray, a little drawer that comes out, and part of it flips up, so with a stop at the bottom, so you can like put your iPad on it. It's brilliant. It's really, really good. I'm really tempted to get one for using over my what's it called, lounger in the garden, so that like my bed in the garden. I think that would be really useful. It's really lovely. But yeah, she had a great day, bless her. She really enjoyed it. So that took out most of our weekend, between making the cake on the Saturday and then that on the Sunday. Yeah, this week we're going to Margate on Friday and having a tour around the east coast of Kent. Looking forward to that. I've never been to Margate, as far as I know. We used to go to all sorts of places when I was little. My dad would drive us. I've definitely been to Littlehampton. I don't remember going any further along the south coast than Littlehampton, but we went to all sorts of places in Kent. We stayed at a caravan park in Rye for one summer, so it wouldn't surprise me if I've been and I remember it when I get there, but I don't know for a definite. So that's a Friday, and then hopefully Saturday and Sunday it will be nice quiet weekend days. The house tidy is going well. I have got one drawer sorted out from my journaling drawer from last week. So that's going brilliantly. However, I did have a birthday party last weekend, so you know, hopefully I'll get at least one other drawer done this weekend. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a hot day on Friday. It's supposed to be really warm here in the UK. It's supposed to be 31. So it'd be nice to be in an air-conditioned car driving around. But really what I'm actually enjoying at the moment is having some time of an evening in the garden. There should be some footage of that coming up at the end. Having some candles lit on the table. We've got like lights that are permanently in the border for Christmas, so I'm putting those on of an evening, and I've bought some solar powered fairy lights for the fence, which are really pretty, so it's been good fun seeing them coming on, although they're coming on way too early for my liking. The nights are beginning to draw in, aren't they? It's getting dark by 9. So I'm really enjoying being out in the garden. It's just, you're kind of wrapped up in blankets, etc., and it's like it's not even August yet. Why is it so cold? So I'm hoping that today, which seems to have been going that way, that it's going to be really warm, and tomorrow we might get to sit out for an evening and relax in the garden and just hang out, which will be nice. Right, talking of hanging out, I've really enjoyed hanging out with you today, but I should probably get this wrapped up and get to work. It is, what time is it? It is 9 o'clock, so that will give me half an hour just to get tidied up in here and get downstairs, get my laptop set up and ready to start editing and get this document done that I need to get done for work. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you're okay wherever you are. Take care, and I will see you next week.
doesn't it?
Oh, what happened to that part of the cake?
It fell off when it was being transferred. Yeah. I'm just gonna.
David needs to phone out. Brilliant. Oh!
Like, are they actually out? They're not one of like the weird like keep relighting candles, are they?